Hello guys, welcome to my channel. In this video we are going to discuss about Docker CLI commands. We will see what are the basic Docker CLI commands which we need to use that in uh, daily basis if you are working with Docker, and we'll see details about them like when we can use that and how we can run that in our Docker command line interface. So let's begin the video. I am in this official cheat sheet of Docker. If you see, we have some of the commands here which are important and which you need to remember it to work with Docker, such as Docker build, Docker images, Docker RMI, and all. Docker login, Docker push, we have some of the commands. We will see these as well. And we have another document where we have Docker subcommands. You can see these are the commands which generally we use, but these are not kind of frequently being used. If you need more details of it, you can come here in the official documentation and you can check all the commands here. So we'll discuss some of the important commands which generally we use on the day-to-day basis. Let me open a document. So here I have listed some of the commands which we need. Okay, so the first one is Docker PS. This will list all the running containers which currently we have in our server or maybe your local. So if you have spin up a container or your containers are running, you can list all the containers with this command, all running containers. Okay, and with this command docker ps-a command, you can list all the containers which are stopped as well as running. That means you will be able to list all the containers. In first commands you will be able to list only the running containers, and the third one is docker stop container id. If you want to stop some container, you provide this command docker stop, and after that container name or container id. So this will stop your container which is running. Okay, and if you want to start that container which you just have stopped, you can again run this command docker start, and after that container id or container name. So this will start your container which you might have stopped. Okay, so the next one is docker restart. This will restart the container which is running. If you are troubleshooting something, or in some cases if you need to restart your container, you can always run this command docker restart command followed by container id or container name. So this will restart your container. Okay, and if you run docker port container id or container name, it will list all port mappings of a container. So generally if we run the container, we configure port as well, like which port this container should be running. It will list all the ports which are associated with this container, that particular container. Okay, the next one is docker rm. This command is used to remove the container, or if you have some container which is in stopped state, this will remove that. Okay, so if you use this command, if your container is not stop or container is running, this will not work, and this will fail your command. That you should be first stopping the container, then you can try this command to delete that. Okay, but if you want to remove some container which is running and you want forcefully that to be removed, you can run this command docker rm -f. -f means forceful, this will remove forcefully, and followed by container id or name. This will remove the running container forcefully. Okay, if you want to pull some image from your docker hub repository, or even some different repository like azure container registry, or maybe some different repositories where you have stored your image, you can run this command docker pull and image info. Okay, image info means your image details. If you are providing something like this, like docker pull nginx, then it will just check for this nginx image in docker hub. If this is not found, your command will fail. And if you are specifying some external repository other than docker hub, like azure container registry, you will have to specify the full name here, like container registry name along with image and tags. Okay, so that it will just pull that image with that particular tag from a specified repository and registry. Okay, the next one is docker exec command. So this will connect to linux container and it will execute commands in container. So if you have some requirement to troubleshoot some issues, or log in into container, connect to container, or do something like run some commands or check some logs, etc., you can run this command docker exec hyphen it container name, or this is the cell name. Okay, like slash bin slash sh. The next one is docker rmi. So this will remove your image id. So if you have pulled your image, and in case you want to remove that image, you can run this command docker rmi and followed by image id. Okay, so this will remove the docker image. And if you want to log out from docker, you can run this docker logout command. This will log out you from the docker hub registry. So if you need to pull the image again, you will have to log in that again to pull the image, otherwise you will not be able to pull that particular image. If you want to log in again, you can run this command docker login hyphen u. This is your username hyphen p, and this is your password. Okay, so this way you can log into the docker hub. If you run docker stats command, this will display live stream of containers which you have created. Okay, the next one is docker top container id or name. So this will display the running processes of a container. You might have some processes running in your container to support your application. Then it will list all those running processes from that particular container. Okay, finally you can just if you run docker version, it will show the docker version which you might have installed in your local or maybe server or somewhere else where your docker CLI is installed. So these are some of the commands we generally use for docker and container management with docker. If you have a command over these some of the commands, you can, of course, work with, you'll be able to, do work in your docker. And if you need more details, you can always visit these documentations. Like here, even in docker cheat sheet, CLI cheat sheet, we have some of the commands related to docker build. If you want to build the docker image from docker file, okay, docker images to list all the images, docker rmi to delete the image, and this command to remove all unused images. If you want to log into docker hub, like we already discussed, you can use this command. You can use docker push command to push some image in your docker hub or some different repository as well. Okay, not only in docker hub. To search image in docker hub or somewhere else, you can run this command docker search. To pull an image, docker pull. Okay, if you want to run the containers, you can run docker run command hyphen hyphen name container name and then image name as well, something like this. Okay, if you want to remove the container, these commands we already have discussed already, even in my previous videos of Docker. If you run Docker logs, it will display the logs of some container. Okay, to list all current running containers and all, you can see you can run these commands. And if you know, if you want to read about it, I mean the commands in detail, you can check these documentation. Like if you want to know more about this command, you can come here and it will show you all the arguments which you might pass here in this command. Okay, so this is the official documentation. You can come here and check for any commands which you might want to use, like what are the options you can supply and what are the arguments you can provide in that particular command. That's it from this video. If you liked it, please like and subscribe my channel. If you have any suggestions or feedback, please let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.